All right, welcome back to the Crave Show. We're here this week with me, Chris. We got JRuss, and we have a special guest with us, Eliana. How are you guys doing?
Hello, hello.
Hey, good.
Excited to be here.
Yeah, we're really glad to have you. JRuss, how are you,
It's
man?
probably my internet that just crapped out.
He's
That's
frozen.
amazing.
All
Cozy.
right, forget JRuss. We don't care about him. Eliana, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Yeah.
And
Excited to
so
chat with you guys.
we were actually having a really nice conversation before we started recording. But one thing I didn't ask you a minute ago before we started, where are you living right now? Where are you at?
So I am in Casa Grande, Arizona. Uh,
Okay.
it's near Skydive, Arizona. It's the next
Okay.
town over.
All right. And what is kind of your main job, career? What do you do? What do you do in life?
So
What's life like for Eliana?
yeah, so I am a professional skydiver, an event organizer, and October 1st of this year is my 30th year anniversary in the sport. So
Really?
it's been a amazing journey. Over the 30 years, I've made 16,000 jumps,
Wow.
and I specialize mostly in formation skydiving. So 4-way, 8-way, 16-way, and large formation events as well. I am a three-time world champion, and I am a world champion in 4-way women's event, the 4-way open event, and the 8-way open event.
Wow, that's
And
cool.
yes, and I also nine-time world record holder in like the large formation events, like 300, 357, 400 way, and then like the women's records, the 151 way, 181 way. And I even got a chance in 2010 to be in the head down 41 way record, the women's records, which was really cool and completely out of my comfort zone because usually
That's awesome.
I'm on my belly. Yes.
That's
So
so the 400 way, that was Thailand.
that was Thailand. Yep, that was
And
Thailand in 2006.
we were just talking about both of our friend Larry Henderson a second
Mm.
ago. He helped organize that event, didn't he?
He did. I mean, he speaks Thai, and
Yeah,
he's
that's
lived
right.
there for a long time. And he's pretty amazing. I think he was a very important piece to be able to make that connection, to do that there. And unfortunately, that was the last one. I mean, I know they've tried to do other ones, but it's always been really difficult getting the aircraft.
Yeah.
And so there, it was amazing. I mean, both times we went, and Thailand is such a beautiful country, as you know. That was our like first time I went there in 2004 for the 357 way. It was my first time in Thailand, and I've been back multiple times since, and I still love it and still want to go back.
Um, Jairus, do you hear that really bad echo, or is it just me?
I don't hear an
No.
echo. I
I
hear
Okay.
a dog barking every once in a while.
Yeah, that's my neighbor.
Mhm.
But do you hear it, Eliana?
I When JRuss came back, I started to hear it.
Okay. I don't know what it is, but maybe it'll go away.
Maybe I can. It won't.
Well, but you're
Nope.
wearing headphones, so it shouldn't echo. I don't know. That's why I was trying to figure out if it was coming from Eliana's, but I don't see.
I think it's
Okay, that's all right.
better now. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, so real quick, before we get too much, I want to hear. I know Jay Russ probably has some questions for you, and I want to hear about your experience skydiving and stories and stuff like that. But first, I want to share something about Crave that I've been working on that I'm really really excited about. And so I want to share this with everybody real quick. So I've been for the past few months working on these new services that we're going to offer, and I've mentioned it a couple times. I think on the podcast, JRuss, I've been talking with him a lot about it. He's been helping test it out, and basically, it's three different services, three different things that we're going to provide or offer. One of them, the first one, is called a quick review. And so basically what it is, you can go on the Crave website. We're going to have a directory of coaches. They're vetted coaches that we've invited and kind of approved. They have references. We know who they are. So you pick a coach and you can upload a video and it will notify that coach that you have sent them your video. It could be a tunnel video or a sky video. And then they'll get that notification. They go on, they open up the video, and then they can leave comments and feedback on your video. They can leave text comments, audio comments, or video, and it will timestamp them. It will connect them straight to the video. Once they're done, they can write like a little summary of coaching and feedback tips, stuff like that. And they resubmit the video. It'll go back to you. And I'm excited because a lot of our listeners have actually been asking about this without even knowing that I was developing it. So I'm hopeful that it's going to be very helpful to people. Anyway, so once it goes back to you, you get a notification. You can go and watch your own video again, and then you can see all the comments and feedback from your coach. And so when you click on a comment, it'll jump straight to that spot in the video, and you can see exactly what they're talking about. So what I want to do real quick, JRuss, do you want to add anything? Because you've been helping test it out. I'm going to pull up the video that you did, that you gave feedback on for Ryan and his crew. If you want to, yeah, what do you want to say real quick?
Well, the thing that I wanted to point out, which is something we talked about, is just the additional value of being able to get feedback on what you did for flying, and then try to take that into your next sky or tunnel session, whatever it is. And then with that experience, you still have access to the debrief video. And so, like, my first time getting coaching, really formal coaching, was with a belly team called Sebastian Excel. And it was a while ago, and we were jumping, we were tunneling at night, we were all so tired. And like, this is Pete Allen was on that team, and what a wealth of information that we're getting from those guys. I don't know any of it. I was a belly flyer at that time, and I would really like to know all of it. And we're exhausted from the tunnel, and we're doing 15 jumps a day. And so the option of like having recorded Pete's words and then listening to them at my leisure, as I have experiences, and after you've had the experience, the information lands better or differently. And so just, I thought it was a really important thing to just kind of emphasize that, hey, you have repeated access to these videos. It's not like, I mean, in-person coaching is incredibly important, and you get all the nuance of having the coach right in front of you. They can see how you're flying. They start to understand the dynamics of your team. That's totally invaluable. But it's typically not recorded, and so all of their words, if you don't hear them or you don't remember, it's a little bit lost. And so that is definitely an important thing, I think, about the platform that you're offering, that you can go back as many times as you want and listen to what the coach has to say.
Yeah. Yeah. So the first option is a quick review. You send a video, they give feedback, they send it back to you, and you can watch it over and over. The second option is we're calling it a deep dive. Same thing. You upload a video, your coach reviews it, leaves feedback, but then you have a one-on-one video call with your coach. So they've already watched the video and left comments. You've already seen their comments, but now you get to get online and actually talk about it and debrief, ask questions, kind of go back and forth. So that's a little more in depth for people who really want that additional feedback and conversation. And then the third thing is what I'm calling flight labs. And these are similar to the deep dive, but it is a multi-week group coaching session. So they're going to be designed around a specific skill or discipline, like for example, sit flying. So maybe a coach decides they want to do a 4-week flight lab on sit flying, like intro to sit flying. So they may have, okay, we're going to have six students who can join, and you'll meet each week. You'll get to upload videos. The coach will give feedback. You'll watch your video, and then during the video call with everybody on the group call, the coach can share different videos from the week. You can ask questions. So it's a chance, like as a cohort, to work together and grow and learn and progress together, learning from each other's videos, learning from each other's questions, but specifically around a specific skill or discipline. But real quick, what I want to do is I want to show one of the videos. So let's see. Let me see if I can share.
We're not quite Joe Rogan yet. You need the super smart genius kid in the background setting all this
what's
up.
His name? He's
Jamie.
always telling him. Jamie.
Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie. Okay, can you guys see the video?
Yes.
And can you see the comments here on the side?
For me, they're quite small, but
But you can see where it says timestamped notes. And so I just want to show briefly, just so people can get an idea of how this works. So here's their video. Let me make sure it's muted. Like for example, if I click on this, and JRuss, the way he did it, he just left all audio comments. That was easier for him. He didn't want to type out his comments. He left audio comments. You can also do video as the coach. So for example, if I click on this one, it jumps to that spot in the video, and then we could listen to his, I'm not going to play it, but we could listen to his comments and know that he's talking about exactly what's going on right here. Or it also automatically transcribes all the comments, so you can go through and read them. And so JRuss, this is cool because Ryan, who sent this video in, he had some feedback. He's like, hey man, if you guys could transcribe those comments, that would be super helpful. So we did the transcription, but I also added in this search thing. So for example, let's say at some point JRuss talked about the long rudder. Like I knew he said something about the long rudder, but where was it? Well, you type in long rudder, found one comment, there it is, and it shows us exactly. We could listen to that comment and we can jump to that spot in the video where he's talking about the long rudder and all the different stuff with that. I don't know what that means, but JRuss does. So, and it'll do that for the audio, video, text comments or whatever. But I just think it's so cool. And it's been super helpful. So I want to show you guys one more video. Let me see. I think I might have to stop this. Let me do this. Okay. So this was a video that I got from a girl, and she had been struggling with over the feet transitions. She had been working for many months actually on these transitions. So she sent me her video. I left her some feedback. I did a bunch of text comments. I typed them out. For me, it was just easier to type them all out. And then I did one video comment where I showed her exactly what I was talking about. So I just want to show everybody, especially our listeners, this is the video that she sent. Shoot, let me mute it. So when she was going from back to belly, it wasn't too bad. She was doing pretty good, but her belly to back, she was really struggling. And that transition, is it playing smoothly, JRuss? So that one that we just saw a second ago was pretty typical of the whole video. There's about 6 or 7 transitions in this video that she shows. And I asked her if I could share some of this stuff. I think she's going to be okay with me sharing it. So she was just having a hard time going both directions. Let me let one more play. Now, so I gave her the feedback, the comments and the feedback. And then I'm not kidding you, the very next day, 24 hours later, she had seen my comments and my video, my feedback. She went back to the tunnel and she sent me another video. So I want to show that one to you guys real quick because I just think this is so great. Sorry if it's boring for you guys, but this is so fun for me.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Let me find it. Yeah, right here. Okay. Can y'all see this video now? Her in the tunnel?
Yep.
Okay. This is the next day. She just got the feedback and comments and then went and started and did, all she did was just implement what I told her to do. Come on. I think that's so awesome. Like she did so good. She did so awesome. I love it.
I think it's awesome that you told her the right things.
Thank you. Thanks, JRuss.
She rocked it. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, and she emailed when she sent me that second video. One of the things that she said in her email, she's like, I can't believe that I was able to send a video to someone on the other side of the world, get coaching and feedback, and then go back into the tunnel and fix it. Like from someone on the other side of the world in a completely different continent, different country. And I just love it. So I really hope, and there's going to be way better coaches than me on the platform on Crave. And like, JRuss, these guys, they're getting feedback from JRuss. And
I don't know. You're 1 for 1. Like that's pretty good percentage.
That's right. There you go. I better quit while I'm ahead. um, so I'm just really, really excited about it. It is live right now. So if you're hearing this podcast and you want to go check it out, go to the Crave website, cravetofly.com. Up in the nav bar, you'll see coaching. You can click on that, or directory. You'll see the directory. You can go and see the coaches. Right now, there's only going to be a few coaches on there. We're going to slowly add more and more. And you'll see when you click on the coach, when it opens up their profile page, if they're doing quick reviews, deep dives, you'll be able to see a link, a little button that you can choose right there. The flight labs are probably going to be a little while. It might be a little while before we actually get some of those going. So you may not see those on the website, but if you want to get feedback and coaching from any of the guys, and hopefully we'll have some girls on there too soon. But you'll see on the coach's profile what skills and disciplines that they prefer to coach in, what they're good at. So if you're wanting to learn, canopy piloting, don't click on mine, because that's not one of my things. I'm not trying to coach canopy piloting. I'm not the guy you need to learn from. So find someone that is good in the skill, one of the coaches that's proficient in the skill that you want to work on. So, all right, that's my plug. I'm super excited. I think it's going to be awesome.
That sounds really cool.
And I know a couple of female coaches as well.
Yes, we need to get them.
Yeah.
Is there any with us right now?
Could be. I think Eliana does quite a bit of coaching.
Yeah.
That would be so cool. Would you want to do it, Eliana?
Yeah, that sounds cool. That sounds really cool. I'd be interested for sure.
Awesome. Well, let's yes. Okay, we need to talk about it then. Awesome.
Let's
Cool.
chat.
Okay, Eliana, as promised, what do you want? Our listeners are all like, I mean, there's exceptions, of course, but I would say somewhere from not many jumps to maybe 500 is the typical listener for the show.
Okay.
So there's a good chance that there's some people out there who just don't know who you are. So what do you want to tell them? Well, who are you?
Oh man, I mean, we've talked a little bit about. I've been in the sport for 30 years, and I focus on formation skydiving mostly. I've been spending most of those 16,000 jumps either training for one type of competition, whether it's 4-way or 8-way or 16-way. But it's been a really fun journey. And I think it's doing teams is how I got kind of hooked, and it's probably why I'm still in the sport, because I just feel like doing teams really, like, one, up levels your skill. Even if you just did it for 1 year. I was just thinking about this the other day, because some of the events like the Arizona Challenge, like those big way events that are, or world record events, um, you don't need to be a world champion to get into those, but you need to be at a certain level. And I think just a couple of years of training on a team can really open a lot of doors to people. And it's just a lot of fun. And I feel like being on teams can make you a better person if you let it. But yeah, it's the way I kind of got into the sport. As I was mentioning to you, Chris, I was a tunnel instructor when I first started. I had like 200 jumps, and I started seeing a lot of people doing teams at the end of the tunnel. And it's just interesting because I was watching people do teams, and I still didn't quite get it, even though it was like right in front of me as a tunnel instructor. But once I started doing teams, I realized, like, oh my God, I thought I knew how to fly because I worked at the tunnel. I could move around, right? Slides up, down, whatever. But once I started doing teams, I was like, oh my God, I don't know anything. And I was completely hooked after that. And I was going I started with a beginner team. That's when one of them was with Thomas Hughes, that we did the intermediate, and we won the nationals.
I
And then
remember that team.
yeah, tunnel rage. And then that kept just leading me to the next team. So I never had the intention of being a professional skydiver. I was just kind of following, like, the curiosity. That sounds like fun. And but yeah, once I got into 4-way, it was hard to stop. I kept telling myself I was going to give myself a year off because I needed to pay my credit card bills and I focus on school. But then another, like, team that was really good, and it's like, oh, when am I ever going to get the opportunity to go to the World Cup or to the World Meet? And it just kept happening. And then at some point I was like, oh my God, this is what I want to do. And that's when I ended up on Arizona Airspeed for 9 years. So yeah, that's how I got into it. It was just curiosity kind of pulled me in. I didn't really know what I was getting into for that first team. I was like, yeah, it sounds kind of fun. Okay, we'll get a coach and we'll do a few of the competitions. And yeah, it's like kind of like the first jump, right? You do the first jump, it sounds kind of cool. It's interesting, you're curious, and then you don't realize like how much it could change your life. And so yeah, that was teams for me. But
Well, tell us about your first jump.
my first jump, so I wanted to do a jump since I was like in my like younger teens, like 13, 14, maybe 15. My dad had mentioned it because he saw an ad in the newspaper and he asked me like, would you jump out of an airplane? And I was like, yeah, that sounds really cool. And we even called the drop zone to see if it was possible, but I was too young then, so I had to put it on hold. And then I joined the military at 17, and I asked my recruiter, am I going to get a chance to jump? And he was like, oh yeah, you can, once you get in, you can request it. And so it's not that easy. I should have had him put it in my contract and then I would have gotten it. But I tried for a few years. I requested it at Fort Hood, Texas, when I was stationed there. I got stationed in Korea for a year and requested it there, but they were not airborne units, so they didn't approve me. But then I got stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and I was like, yes. And I was at an airborne unit. And I asked them if I can go to the school, go to be airborne. And they said yes. And they looked for a school date for me. And as soon they realized that I was about to get out of the military. So they were like, oh, like, we're not going to send you if you're going to get out. But some of the guys in my unit that were airborne said, hey, there's a skydiving center nearby. You could just rent a parachute and jump. I was like, okay. So it was Rayford. So I went to Rayford and I was like, I heard you can just rent a parachute. And they're like, no, it's not that. It's not like that. You could do a tandem. And so I did my first tandem there, and it was a lot of fun. And I was about to walk off the drop zone. Still, they had mentioned the AFF course, but it seemed really expensive to me at the time. And I was about to get out of the military too, and I was like, "Oh, I can't afford it." But luckily, there was a guy that he asked me how the jump was, and I was like, "Yeah, it was a lot of fun." And he asked me if I was going to do the course, and I'm like, "Yeah, it's a bit too expensive for me right now." And he was like, "Since you're in the military, there's a free fall club, and you get discounted jumps." And so you can do the static line progression, and it's cheaper. And and he introduced me to the course director, and so I almost walked out, and luckily I met him, and so then I started doing the course, and I started doing the static line progression, which was a lot of fun. But initially, I actually wasn't that nervous for my tandem, which I was surprised. But once you started going through the course and having more responsibility of saving my own life, I started getting really nervous. And I even thought for a while, I was like, oh, I don't know if this sport's for me. Because there was spinning sometimes. And that was actually, so I did the static line progression, and then I switched over to AFF because I was about to get out and I was running out of time. So they started me at level 5 with one instructor, but I hadn't been doing that much free fall. I was just like at a 5 or 10 second delay, and so far they were like, "You're doing pretty good." Like I was going off the Cessna, arched, and I was pulling for myself, but I wasn't in free fall that long. And so that first couple of jumps, I was like, "Whoa," because it was wild. I mean, one of the first ones, the instructor, it was out of the Cessna, and I was used to like them telling me to go. And then with the static line jumps, I would take a deep breath and then I would let go. And then, so we did the count, and I was going to take my deep breath, and he just like he pulled me off because, I had said go. And so the jump started all crazy like that. But yeah, initially I'd get a little bit out of control, even end up on my back. And so my instructors actually took me to the wind tunnel at Fort Bragg. And that was my first experience with the wind tunnel. And that I was quickly, they kind of fixed me in like a 15-minute session. And after that, passed AFF. And then I moved and then I actually went back to the wind tunnel after that, because they were like, I was just going to go back and watch. And I got invited to go back in with some of the groups, and I got to fly quite a bit. And at the time, they don't keep time there, so I don't really know how much I flew. But by the time I left there, I was able to do verticals, and I mean, they don't have any walls, so you have to be able to stay in place to not fall out. And yeah, I can do all the basic things. And so when I got to my first drop zone, they were like, how many jumps do you have? And I was like 15 or 20. And then we do a two-way and they're like, wow, you're doing really good. And so I didn't realize that it was because of the tunnel until later, until I started working at the tunnel. But I think it gave me a lot of confidence, like, wow, I'm actually pretty good at this now, you know? And it was because I'd already had, you know, back then nobody had tunnel, you know, because the Skyventure tunnel was really one of the first ones. So yeah, so when I had about like 200 jumps, um, somebody suggested that I go apply at the tunnel. They were just opening the tunnel, and they were needing instructors. And at first, when she suggested it, I was thinking like, "There's no way. I only have like 200 jumps. Like, you know, I don't think they would hire me to work at the tunnel." And so she kind of, you know, insisted and encouraged me to go and introduced me to somebody that she knew that was already hired there. And then I got an interview, and then they hired me. To my surprise. So, fortunately, she believed in me a little bit more than I believed in myself at the time. And it was really, I think, amazing because, especially back then, that tunnel was really the only tunnel of that type, and everybody from all over the world was going to that tunnel. So, and then like you don't think about it then, but I still meet people that knew me from then. I don't remember everybody because there was a lot of people, but they sometimes I'll meet them in different parts of the world, and they're like, "Yeah, I remember you were like my tunnel instructor."
Wow.
um, and
So this was the tunnel in Orlando or where?
it's yeah in Orlando. This is the Sky Venture Tunnel. It was like
Okay, but it's
it
not
wasn't
there anymore. Is it still there?
not that one. No, they
Okay.
still have one in Orlando and
Yeah,
like
but not that,
nearby.
not the original one, right?
Not the original
Okay.
one, no.
So, okay, hold on. I'm trying to put together all the pieces. So, when you were a tunnel instructor there, is that the same time, JRuss, that you started going in there learning to fly?
Um, I don't think so. I think it was because I didn't start jumping really until 2002.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
and I think I didn't meet Eliana there. I had seen videos of them flying, like you guys, you and Thomas and maybe Michael did like a three-way holding hands and laying out over the top of the other flyer, and I saw that somehow. And um, so I mean, I was aware of who Eliana was, and especially by the time that I was like into the competitive scene, she was winning the world meet or something, you know, like um, so I knew who she was, but we didn't meet there.
Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause
So what years were you there?
I was there from 98 till 2001.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, I kind of just missed you.
So that, I mean, that was like the beginning of the tunnel.
Yeah, that was the beginning. Yeah, which I was really fortunate, and it was just a time when there was no other tunnel, so everybody was going there. So you really got to meet all the international teams, and it was interesting because I started doing four-way, and then I was watching all the top four-way coaches from all over the world coach there because that was the tunnel, so it was fun watching people like
You were
watching
learning
them
so
fly.
much.
Yeah, looking back, what do they say? Okay, oh wow, that worked pretty good. Okay, I'm
Wow.
gonna try that next time.
Man,
Yeah, yeah,
free coaching, learning so much cool stuff. That's
yeah, yeah.
amazing.
It was a really fun time, and yeah, and just getting to fly a lot and just learn from different people. And yeah, and for me at the time, because I was going to school and wasn't making a lot of money, I wouldn't have been able to, even though the tunnel was nearby, to afford it that much. So that really helped being in there. And I always think just being in the environment around like all these people, all these coaches. I mean, and that's how the team like Airspeed got to know me, because they were coming out to do tunnel camps. So being in that environment, just absorbing it all, I was really passionate about it. I was in it all the time, and then they started to get to know me, and then I got invited to come out to Arizona Airspeed through that connection. Which is
That's
pretty
awesome.
cool.
That's
Yeah.
really cool.
So I always tell people, like, especially like young people, like just to be, like it's good to be around, other like whatever you love, whether it's skydiving or something else. Yeah, if you to be around it, you just for one you learn a lot from being around it, seeing it, and also, you never know who you're going to meet, what connections you're going to make, and what opportunities you'll get. Like, I mean, it wasn't like I wasn't dreaming that big. I wasn't even like when I got invited to airspeed, I wasn't aiming that high either. I was like really shocked. I had just won the world meet with the women's event, but I wasn't thinking like to be a professional skydiver at that point until they asked me, and then I was like, whoa. So it's I think it's kind of cool that place was like a little catalyst to everything.
That's really neat. Okay, I have two questions. I know JRuss probably has a bunch too, but okay, first of all, did that tunnel fly very differently from tunnels now?
Yeah, it definitely wasn't as powerful,
It wasn't.
especially for like free flying. I
Okay.
remember, trying to learn how to fly, and we used to have really big suits at
Okay.
the time,
Okay.
yeah. So it
And then
was,
my other question is the guy that you met at the drop zone that told you about the static line and discounts, do you know who that was? Do you
it was somebody from the Golden Knights.
No
I don't
way.
think I've seen him since,
Oh, that's
or know
cool.
him. Yeah, but it was
That's really
because
cool.
they trained there, and
Okay.
yeah, I was about to like walk out to, I was leaving because I had already done my jump, and
Yeah.
at the time I thought that jumping would be like something like an amusement park, like you go
Yeah.
from time to time kind of thing. I didn't
Yep.
realize people did it so frequently. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool.
So it's like these little coincidences in a way. Like, I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know,
so
like if I would
awesome.
have walked away, when would I have made another jump? I'm not sure, but yeah.
Yeah, think about how different your life would be just because that guy it was nice and talked to you. He's like, "Hey,
Yeah,
how was
yeah,
your jump?" Like
yeah, yeah.
that's that question changed your life.
Yes,
You
yeah.
know, it
And
sparked the conversation for him. That's amazing to me. I
yeah,
love it.
yeah, there's like a lot of little moments like that along the way. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Super cool.
And yeah, and just the fact that I moved to Florida right at the time when they were building the tunnel, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah,
It's
it's like
crazy.
out of all places.
Yeah, yeah, really, really cool.
So
Yeah.
that's a little bit out of that book Outliers, because Eliana is an outlier, right? Like exceptionally good at the thing that she chose, and not to take anything away from that, but most exceptional people have that combination of like, I have the desire, and suddenly there's an opportunity that not a lot of other people have, and
Mm,
that ends up setting me apart from the other people who would like to do what I would like to do.
mm.
Bill Gates had access to the very first mainframe computer that existed in, I can't remember, San Francisco or Southern California somewhere, and he tricked the system out so that it couldn't keep track of his time. And so he
Hmm.
just logged on and got to be the world's expert on this new thing, and then made his own company out of what he knew because he got free time on this computer.
Right. I got free
Yeah,
tunnel time. Yeah.
yeah,
That's
Yes.
so
right.
awesome.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
mean, he was a nerd wanting free time on the computer. We're nerds wanting free time in the tunnel.
Yeah.
yeah. So Eliana, I'm just, and Chris, I do have a bunch of questions, but feel free to hop in. As
Okay.
far as your tunnel instructing time, or just that, the time of being in the tunnel, have you ever tried to quantify, like, how influential do you think that is on your overall career?
I mean, I think that time, it wasn't just even the flying. I think it was all the connecting with the people that were there as well. Like in learning from them. And Tony Robbins, he always says proximity is power. And I feel like, without realizing it, I ended up in a place where, yeah, like the best of the best were going there. And I got the skills through the tunnel time, but like you said, you need the coaching as well, right? And so being seeing all that coaching, and then yeah, being exposed to it, and then being exposed to opportunities that I would have never like would have imagined even asking for or going for. I think one of the things though that maybe people saw was that I was just really passionate. Like I really like was loving it, and I couldn't believe that I was getting to paid to work there. And so yeah, I think that that might have been something that might have been attractive. It's like when you see somebody that really loves what they're doing or enjoys it, it can be like, oh wow, that's maybe that's how the opportunities came along. But yeah, I think I was just very curious, like with the first jump, with the four-way, like I didn't really know what it was, or like how much money it was going to cost. I didn't ask a lot of questions. I was like, yeah, that looks kind of fun. Yeah, I'll try it. Yeah, we're going to get a coach. I'm like, okay, I wonder what he's going to teach me. Like I had no idea. And I was thinking like, what? I wonder what else there is. Like I already like can go up and down, side to side. Like I
How
was
much
just like
more
I
can
could
there
like
be?
how much? What else
Like,
is there? Yeah,
I
that was
think
my
I've already
mind
got
was
it all
in the
figured
200
out.
jumps. Even though I've been working there watching other people, but there's something like you don't quite get until you're in it. And then once I got in it, I was like, whoa, this is a whole new world, and I was hungry for more.
It's kind of like learning another language. If you've ever learned a new language, at first, when you first start learning it, you feel overwhelmed, but then you kind of get into it, and you kind of hit this point where you're like, oh, I think I've got this language, and then you hit another point where you realize there is so much to that language that you don't know, like nothing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
skydiving can kind of be like that.
yeah. There is all those different levels, and is the language you learned Thai?
Yeah,
Oh, amazing!
yeah,
That's very cool.
yeah.
So
When I
I think.
see
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I was just say sometimes when I see Larry, we'll see each other, and sometimes we'll go stay at his house up in over in Abilene, and we'll speak Thai together sometimes. Or if I talk to him on the phone, he likes to speak Thai on the phone.
That's cool. How is this Thai? I assume really good, huh?
Oh, yeah, his Thai is phenomenal. I mean,
Yeah.
he grew up pretty much. He grew up in Thailand and then lived there as an adult also, and like spent.
Ah,
Yeah, his Thai is he speaks like a native.
wow. That's cool.
I just wanted to point out from what Eliana said that there, in the Bill Gates story, there were three other kids who had that same access, and they didn't start Microsoft.
Hmm.
And
Mm.
and
Hmm.
so it is important to say, like, there are those opportunities, to be an outlier, but the fact that you were passionate about it, you were driven, you were curious. uh, what was the word that you used? Something about your personality just being upbeat, or
I was just passionate. Yeah, like I
passionate.
was,
Yeah,
yeah,
like all
passionate.
those things go into the choices and
Mhm.
the perception that other people have. And the other guys that were at the tunnel, there were other guys working there, but
It's
but
true.
you and Thomas had a different trajectory than those other guys did. And that could be them saying, oh well, I never wanted to be a professional skydiver, I never wanted to be a professional belly flyer, or whatever. And maybe that's valid. But I think also that there are those sort of traits that set you apart. Even with the potential to be an outlier, there's still in not indefinable, but maybe a little bit less tangible reason why you got asked to be on that team rather than somebody else. I just think
Yeah,
it's,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, I was so grateful for the opportunity, and skydiving kind of changed my like when my family, I would always watch all my family work, but they're always working for the money so that they can do something fun on their time off. And that's what I thought, that's what I thought life was like until skydiving. And then I was like, wow, you can work in what you love. I'm like, oh my god, this is crazy. And it's like now it's like I don't want to do anything else. Like it's like once you have that, been shown that way, it's like, why do it differently.
So you've been making a living for the past 30 years in skydiving.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the first yeah, pretty much, because I did my tandem in 95 and then started the course in 96, so in 98, so basically 27, 28 years.
Yeah.
I started working at the tunnel, and then I moved to Arizona and to be on the team, and after that it's just been all, yeah, skydiving.
So tell me a little bit about how you've made a living, because I think some skydivers, especially if they're newer, younger skydivers, they may only have kind of the concept of tandem instructor, AFF instructor, you know, get on the packing mat, work in manifest. Like that may be kind of their only conception of working in skydiving. But
Hmm.
what has it been like for you? What are the things that you've done? How have you made a living? How do you do that?
Yeah. So for me, I mean, I started working at the tunnel, and then I specialized in formation skydiving. And at first it was four-way, and then when I moved out to Arizona, we added eight-way. And so for us, I was really fortunate because I got on a team that was really well established. They were the current world champions, and the team's now been going for about 30 years. And they continue to do really well. But I came out, and the team was already. How I met them was because they were running tunnel camps in Orlando. So as soon as I got on the team, I joined them to run some of those camps, and then they opened up a tunnel in here in Arizona. So then we were doing a lot of tunnel, and so I was doing a lot of one-on-one training. I was doing a lot of four-way training, and so it was really good because we were training really hard ourselves, like 10, 12 jumps a day, and then doing also some tunnel camps for ourselves. And then when we weren't training ourselves, we were coaching other people. So then I was practicing all those basics again with other people. You know what I mean? And so whether it was basics one on one, or basics with the four-way stuff. So I think that helped even more, right? It helps, and sometimes it's hard because then you're not getting a break for your body. And so,
Mm,
as a professional athlete over time, then the body definitely starts to feel it, right? But at the time, it really helped, accelerate, again, the level even more.
mm,
Um, and so yeah, I was doing a lot of that, mostly tunnel, four-way, and individual, and then we would do some organizing, jumping, whether it was the Arizona Challenge, the larger formations, or four-way camps jumping. But and now there was a time actually, when I got to know JRuss a little more. We were both in Dubai, so after I left the team after 9 years, I moved to Dubai, and I worked for Skydive Dubai, and we were training the Emirati team. So we were training the four-way and eight-way teams there to compete, and they got pretty good too. We even won one of the DIPCs, which with the eight-way, which was really impressive. One of their first few years against some of the top eight-way teams. So they were doing pretty awesome. It was a lot of fun. It was a fun journey there. But now I'm doing more like event organizing. So I organized like four-way competitions. I just helped organize the Arizona Women's State Record, which we didn't quite get it because we only got 3. Surprisingly, there was really bad weather in Arizona, and out of the 10 jumps we had planned, we only got 3, so we didn't
mm,
quite get a chance to do it. But we were trying to do a 66-way, so three airplanes, 66 women, and definitely. I thought we had the good group, and we got like 70% of the formation built at one point, but we just didn't have the weather to do all of them. So now I'm trying to do like the four-way competitions, because I feel like I really love the competition stuff. With the teams, it's not even just about building your skills, but also there's something about I feel like I do better when I'm part of a team. There's that accountability. There's that, like you push each other, you learn from each other, and not just in the air, but on the ground as well. So like being on airspeed, when I came out to airspeed, I was quite shy about public speaking, and it's still, I wouldn't say like my comfort zone, where I'm not the first one to jump out and be like, oh, I'll do it, but over the years I've gotten way better. Like when I first started, I was really, really shy, and they were definitely encouraging me to do more of it and do seminars, and I was like, oh. And so it was really pushed out of my comfort zone and stuff like that on the ground. And over time, then you start doing, a lot more coaching and a lot more big wave formations, and so you get more comfortable with it. But yeah, there's a lot of things you learn on teams that is not just about the flying skills, but I think, the communication skills. And I was really fortunate to be part of Airspeed that already had a lot of those systems built in,
mm.
that I learned, and then you can take to other teams to help them out as well, so they can have a good time and succeed.
Yeah, that's cool. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. But so other opportunities I've gotten, I've gotten a chance to do a couple commercials. Like last December, we went to Dubai and did a commercial out there for Etisalat, for a telephone company. And then this year, he did a commercial for AG1, the supplement company.
Yeah.
And it was on the World Series recently, this commercial, which
These are
is
skydiving like commercials where you're skydiving or
yeah,
what?
yeah. It was well, we did the commercial, we did our skydiving part, but there was a lot of different athletes to it. So we did a couple jumps, just 2 jumps, one at sunset, one at sunrise. And you see like a moment,
Yeah.
but it was a lot of fun for us to do it. And there was a bunch of different athletes. I'll send it to you guys so you could see it. And we're all saying it's about like morning people and their routines, you know. So
That's cool.
yeah, it was fun. So you get little cool opportunities like that. Also, like I've gotten a chance to go to like Costa Rica and organize out there, which has been a lot of fun. I've done that a few years. I've gotten a chance to work with like JRuss with the military contracts, which is also like something different, right? Which I really love that, like doing different things within
Mm.
the sport. And I got a chance to be on the highlight team, the highlight pro skydiving team, with all these women doing demo jumps, into like stadiums and for like football games or like a state fair, which has been also super fun. And I'm also part of the Hera Rising project. So I'm one of
Oh yeah.
3 women that have been chosen for that
You,
project, which is,
oh, I didn't know that. That's so
yes,
awesome.
yeah. So that's, so it's like
No way.
these doors, just like for
Oh,
all
that's
these like
so
cool
cool.
things, yeah,
So
Yeah, we
Eliana's
had
Swathi was on
yeah.
a few
yeah.
weeks ago, a couple
Uh-huh.
months ago. But can
Mhm.
you just remind us about Hera Rising and give us kind of the rundown and your impression and your thoughts and feelings about potentially going to space?
Yes. Yes. So the Hera Rising project is a project to break the record of the highest altitude jump, along with a few other records. I'll just say right here: break the free fall from the highest altitude, break the speed of sound unaided, the highest crewed balloon flight, and the longest free fall time. So let me get you guys back here. Yeah. Those 4 records, but this time they want to do it with a woman. They've done it, 3 men have done it so far, the last one being Alan Eustace in 2014. So now it's been over a decade. And I got a call November of 2021 from Amy Shimalecki and Sarah Curtis. And they had been called from these women that work for Rising United, or part of the nonprofit organization for Rising United, that were looking to get some help finding women in the sport. Because this project, I think, started like 2018, I believe. And it started with in Costa Rica, there was a man, his name is Ronald Chang Diaz, and he's the brother of Franklin Chang Diaz, who's an astronaut, and he's in the Hall of Fame. He's been in space 7 times. And he's really passionate about STEM, science, technology, engineering, math. And now there's STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And he was doing like some of these like balloon, projects with another a skydiver. But he thought, man, they should do another one of those records. Like that would be really cool. And I think it was his wife that said they should do it with a woman this time. And so they were like, yeah, that's a good idea. And so he immediately reached out to Paragon Space Development Corporation, which is the organization that did the life support system for Alan Eustace. And they, he put a proposal in, and they started working together. And and then they found these women from, like kind of hot from Hollywood, that people that work with like movies and stuff like that, that put like, like if there's a Coca-Cola in a movie, they're the ones that connect these brands with these projects. So they started working together with them, and they called Amy Shimalecki and Sarah Curtis to try to help find a woman, because initially they had 2 Costa Rican women, and then one of them decided to go back to school, and then she's actually not even jumping anymore. But so they had one, and they wanted another one because they wanted a primary and a backup. So, but they called Amy and Sarah, and they were like, I think we know the right person, and then they actually, so they were like, we need more, we want like more options. So they gave them many options, and then after multiple interviews, then they narrowed it down to, so even the one that was originally supposed to do it, like out of the 2, she kind of got put back into, and they were going to see like if they were going to pick 2, and she was also like back into the shuffle, like she had to go through, they weren't sure if they were going to pick her anymore. But and so they went ahead, and at the end they chose the 3 of us. And I think it's a cool story because we all went to try on spacesuits because they wanted to see how we felt after, trying on the spacesuit, and if we even wanted to do it again, like do the project, or if we were like, they wanted to see if we are claustrophobic in a spacesuit, and they they really like enjoyed our camaraderie, like how we were supporting each other. And after that, they made the decision that they were going to keep three of us instead of two, which I thought was a pretty cool story, that by us being, just like how a lot of skydivers are, right? You're just, hanging out, supporting each other. And yeah, they were a lot of fun. That was the first time I had met Swati, and I had met Diana because I'd done the Costa Rica boogie and I jumped with her before. So, but yeah, they're both a lot of fun, and I'm excited to be part of the project with these two ladies. And it's like, I feel like it's a little bit like the first jump again. It's like something like, it's kind of curious about it. It's a little scary, but it seems really fun. And then it's going to be one of those things that, like, you don't even know who you're going to meet, where it's going to go. And just I also like the idea of being part of a team, even though it's one person gets to go up. I mean, there's a whole team around you and behind you. Yeah, it's pretty amazing, I think.
And
So
what's the target altitude? I can't
so it's
remember.
139,500. So it's
139.5.
26
Okay.
miles up, like a marathon.
139.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
there's not a lot of more opportunities to go up much higher, because I think that part of the stratosphere ends at like 150. So, and after that, I don't think the balloon will go up that much higher. So so
So it's
there's
pretty
only,
almost maxed out,
yeah,
pretty much.
yeah,
And
no,
the current record is like 132 or something. It's like
135,890.
135. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
So that
yeah,
was Eustace, and then like 2 years before him was Baumgartner, right?
right,
Because I
right.
mean, Eustace broke his like super quick. It seems like.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was shortly after. Yeah, it was so long between Joe Kittinger and
Yeah.
Felix, and then the
Yeah, because
next one was
Kittinger
very
was like
quick.
in the 70s or something, wasn't it? Like the
I
late
think he was
70s
like
or
in the
something.
60s.
It's like a
Yeah.
long time ago.
60s.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's crazy.
And he didn't have a lot of jumps. I think he had like 50 jumps or something.
No way.
Which, yeah, yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
yeah.
wild.
Yes. I wish I would have met him. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to meet him or Felix, actually. So I did call. Dan BC got me in touch with Alan Eustace, because they know each other. And I was like, I need to talk to somebody, because I'm like, I need to know what I'm getting into. Like, yeah. And so I'm like, who can you talk to? So it's like, there's only a couple people at the time. And he was the last one to do it. And then also he was one of them that worked with Paragon, because they're using kind of the same system, but or the same company. So I wanted to ask him if he would do it again with them, and like, what did he think? And so he said he would definitely, he doesn't want to do it again because he's done it and he's working on other things, but he would do it again with them if
Yeah.
yeah, if you wouldn't hesitate. So that made me feel a lot better. And initially, when Amy and Sarah called me and told me about it, I was like, my heart like immediately just like dropped, and I was like, oh my god. But then you seems exciting, but also seems scary because you just don't know the people, and you're like, is it going to be safe? But as you get to know them more, like we got to meet, one of the top somebody that's going to be the engineer, once it gets going, and you see that, yeah, you feel more comfortable,
Yeah.
with it already, even though it's still in the funding phase and we haven't been able to start like training or anything like that. But um, yeah, it's exciting. And one of the things that's actually really exciting is that it's not just it's a record, which is cool, and I have multiple records, and that's a lot of fun, and it's like a very unique jump, which is amazing. But it's also, I think, really awesome that it's part of this. They really want to they want to encourage young girls and boys too, young people, to get into STEM, because Ronald is so passionate about STEM because it changed their lives, and it changed his brother's lives. It even changed their country, because when a Costa Rican was to NASA and they went to space, the whole country got really excited about that. And so he feels like, or they feel like, if more young women, especially from third world countries, or underprivileged kids, they get into STEM, or they're exposed to STEM, they have opportunities in STEM, that it can really change their lives and the lives of their communities and their country. So I feel like it's something bigger than just Eliana getting a record, or Swati, or Diana. It's than just, than the one person getting a record. It's bigger than that. And also they're doing like a lot of they're like trying to create a new, a spacesuit, because if they haven't for years, and now there's a lot of money being put into the development of a new spacesuit. So um, also they're going to have like this technology for women, because one of the reasons some of the women couldn't go to the moon was because there wasn't a spacesuit for them,
Hmm.
even though they were highly qualified to go. So yeah, so I feel like it's kind of bigger than just, another like skydiving record,
Yes, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's really neat.
yeah.
So, Chris, you got questions?
You go, man.
Well, I'm going to back up around to my notes here. And I just want to, Chris knows Thomas Hughes, but again, our younger listeners will maybe not know who Thomas is, which is hard to imagine for me, but that they wouldn't know both of you. But you guys worked together at the tunnel. And then I know Thomas went on to be on a team, Sebastian Excel. That's where I met him. You guys, were you on airspeed at the same time?
Yes, we actually was on airspeed in 2006 doing 8-way.
Okay. So
Yeah.
in my mind, you guys didn't overlap on the four-way team. Is that correct?
No, no, no. Like initially when I went to airspeed, he went to XL.
Yeah.
And so and then that team finished, and then he came to us, and then he left for a bit, and then when I left he came back. Like
Okay.
exactly kind of, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
in your 9 years, there were world championships in there. Is that correct?
Yes.
How
For
many
me,
was it?
yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So I came in already a world champion on the women's team, but then on airspeed I got the 4-way open and the 8-way open, and I got very close a couple times. We actually had like a jump off in 2003 for 8-way, and we did the jump off and we tied the jump off, but we didn't get the medal, so because
Yeah.
of the rules, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like the closest you can possibly get to another world championship. And yeah, so there was a couple close ones like that. And some of them, like out of the other competitions, some of my favorites aren't always the gold medals. It's really
Mm.
the ones that are like back and forth, back and forth. You don't know who's going to win till the very last round, and like we've come up in second, but it's been so exciting, and it's like it's what I love. And like yeah, I wish that for everybody that puts all the training and time into competition, because it really does push you and help you grow. I remember competing at the tunnel when they first started doing tunnel competitions, and we were a trained team doing, we did tunnel, but we were focused on winning world championships in the outdoor world championships. And we went to the tunnel, and after the first day, the pickup team was beating us. It was like Pete Allen's team. It was like the old Excel guys got together, and they hadn't trained. They did like an hour before, and we were like in second place. We were like, what? And so the next day, we were like, we got to go faster, and so we have to push harder. And we got back on top after the first day, but it like they pushed us. And then I think because of that, we were able to take that into the air, and then suddenly the average really shot up too. So I feel like it really helped. So having that really tight competition where you're like, I got to find something more somewhere else, and it does. And so I wish that for everybody that does competition, if they can have those battles. It's really exciting, and I love that. Even sometimes you come out in second, so they're a lot of fun too.
I bring up a line from actually Talladega Nights, which is a comedy movie, but when he's talking to the other driver, and the other driver, the French guy, is like, the Beatles needed the Rolling Stones, and Diane Sawyer needed Katie Couric. Like that's a real thing. Like we've my team's won competitions where we won by 80 points. That's not a competition. Like the
Yeah.
best meets are the ones where we won by two.
Yes.
And that's the ones that you remember. And it's great to
Yes.
hear you had a similar opinion.
And
Um,
my first competition before I go on, it's really because I had won the intermediate with Thomas, right? And then shortly after that, I got called by a women's team, and they were like, "There's a World Cup in Arizona, first World Cup for a women's event at the time," and they're like, "Do you want to join us?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." But they're like, "It's next month." I'm like, "Next month? How are we going to be ready? Like in like 1 month?" And they're like, "Well." we think we could be competitive based on like the test event that they had before. We'll do a couple training, jumps beforehand. And so I was like, okay, I'm like, when am I ever going to get a chance to go to a World Cup again? So I went, and then we won. And so that was exciting. Like we won, but we hadn't trained that much. And then we trained really hard for like, because the world meet was like 6 months later. At that time it was really close. It was in Spain, in like May or June. And we trained, like that was the hardest I had trained, because at that time I'd only done like 100 jumps a year. And this time we did like 300 jumps in 6 months. And plus we did tunnel and got coaching and put a lot of money and effort into it. And then we went to the competition and we had a very big battle. And we ended up, we were like down at first by a couple points. Like we were like down like 5 points after 5 rounds. And at first I was like, man, how are we going to make that up? And at that time they were like 2 point busts. So like we already had like two of them. So we were like, at one point we were being too cautious. So we are losing points because we are being cautious. And so then we had to say like, okay, let's just be ourselves. We can't be cautious either. So then we started going for it and we started kind of climbing back up, back up. And then by the end of going into the 10th round, we were down only 1 point, and then we won by 3. And so that roller coaster ride of that meet and having put all that effort in and having that competition, after that I was like, this is what I want to do. Because before that I was still like, it was still my hobby. Like I was working at the tunnel, I was going to go back to school. Like I was actually going to school to be an engineer. And I was like, had gotten through 2 years and I still needed to finish. And I was like, okay, after this competition, I'm going to quit for a year, pay my credit card debt, get back to school, focus on school. And then after that competition, I was like, this is what I want to do. Yeah. And that like changed it for me. Hmm.
And I want to, I hopefully this is not too personal, but I know this and I think a lot of people know it, so it's not a big deal. But you also met and fell in love with a teammate,
Yes, 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 yes.
and
The
now he's
one
your
and
husband.
only.
Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes.
How I mean, I'm obviously married to my teammate, so but we were kind of in a relationship before the team. How was it on your team when that developed in the middle of what was going on?
Well, at first you're like trying to deny it, like, nope, this can't happen. Definitely don't want to mess up this opportunity. And but when you spend more time with somebody like that, then you keep falling in love more and more, right? You love them even more, right? So it was after a while it was undeniable, and so finally we had to let the team know, and everybody was like, we could see it. Yeah, but it was good. It's been, we've been together now for a really long time and it's still going strong.
Excellent, and he's an awesome guy. Um,
Yeah, it's a
and
lot of fun.
hopefully he'll quit dodging me on being on this podcast.
I'm
um,
sure you'll get him sometime.
you broke the ground for him. Um, I wanted to ask. We're a little. We don't. It's not a strict time limit, but we usually stick to around an hour, and we're right. We're getting close. But the 400 way that you did in Thailand, that obviously, I think obviously we might have talked about this on the podcast, but the big hurdle is the aircraft, as you said, and the Thai military was able to donate the C-130s that you guys used. I don't know who told me, but somebody said Thailand wasn't going to do that anymore, and it is quite expensive from everything that I understand. So I'm curious, what do you think about going bigger? Like, what's the future of really big way belly flying? Is there a future out there?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult with the aircraft because it's not just like getting the aircraft for that time period. Like the pilots need to train too, right? Because usually they're like those kind of aircrafts, they're not usually doing formation, loads and stuff like that. So they need to train, and then you need multiple crews too because you're going so high. They can't always do those pilots can't always do the jump. A lot of times they have to rotate crews. So it's a lot. It's a big, donation if they're contributing the airplanes. But man, I don't know, like I know now like they're focusing on just doing more points. So like some of the records we have, the total break sequential. And you definitely need a higher caliber of people to be everybody, like once they get their let go, stay close and turn and rebuild another formation. I know airspeed's going for a 4.100 way next, which is pretty cool. And, it's going to take a lot of skill. to do that. But we did a 3.108 way. 3 point, it's a 3 point, yeah, 3 point, and then 2.151 way. And so now they're going for a 4.100 way. So,
So
mhm.
just like logistically on those, so say the 3.100 way, how do you key that? How do you know everyone's gripped, and then how do you key it?
Yeah. So there was like Craig, my husband, he was in the middle there with another airspeed member, and he had a streamer. And I think I remember like, everybody gets there, right? And they're like looking and checking, and they know like what to what to check.
Do they
Oftentimes
have
you're
do they
not
have
always.
captains that they're checking with? They're looking in at captains or
No,
something?
oftentimes, I'm not sure, but oftentimes, like when you look at something and you go to key something bigger, like when you're doing 16 way, a lot of times you're not just looking at grips, you're looking at shapes. You're like a diamond, so it's really kind of easy, like, you know
Okay.
what I mean? Like diamond, 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 or, this
Okay.
whacker, this whacker, this whacker. So, yeah. And as you're scanning. So,
Okay.
usually, like you could tell if, there's a gap between there,
I
there's
see.
no grip generally.
I see.
So a lot of times you're scanning for to specific shapes. You're not like necessarily kind of like looking at every single
Yeah.
grip. You can see
Counting
the shape
everyone's
of
hand.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can see the specific shape of
Got it.
there's donuts or diamonds or. Yeah, so there's two of them scanning, and then they when they key it, they let go of a streamer, so a streamer comes up so everybody can
Okay.
see the streamer, because it's so big, they might not see
Sure.
the streamer comes up, and then everybody goes to the next point, and then when it's done, they let go of the streamer. And so then when the streamer's gone,
That's
yeah,
another key.
that's another key. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Ah,
So
okay.
it's interesting because I did a practice jump with them on the 151 way. They divided the groups up, and I was in the middle, and I had the streamer. It's an added thing. You're just like, okay, I better get this right, because it's not
Yeah. What if
something.
you accidentally let go too soon, man?
Yeah,
Oh,
like when it
shoot.
comes out.
No.
Yeah, and you don't want to have it like you're not having it wrapped, because you want to be able to let it go easily too. So you
Yeah.
kind of maybe just put it around two fingers and then just hold it, and you're like, got to make sure you kind of let
Oh
go
my
of the right
goodness.
fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're like so focused on that streamer,
yeah,
man.
yeah. It's another thing. It's a cool challenge.
That's cool.
So
That
so
that
there's a
just sounds so fun.
future. There's a future in big ways for belly, for sure.
And
Do
to
you?
like you have to get, like, for those TBS, you got to get your skill up, right?
Yeah,
More than just the 1 point jumps.
yeah. Do you think a 500 way or something like that is possible, but it takes some really special circumstances?
I do. I mean, I think, if the planes like were going to be available, and there was a date in sight. I mean, I know there's already a lot of like big way camps and stuff like that, but like once that happens, it's almost like, it gives people like a motivation, kind of like when you have the nationals. It gives people a reason to train more, to go to these camps more, and suddenly you start seeing a lot more people wanting to be at those camps, and getting their skills up, and then and they're training for it, like training for a world meet. That's their world meet. So
Hmm.
I think it's really good. But yeah, once you get the aircraft, and the camps will start trying to get the right people, and as if you're one of those people that would want to do that, you want to be like, again, proximity is power, right? You oftentimes, organizers, you don't want to invite somebody you're not sure about, right, for something like a record. So you want to be in front of them at some point, and there's usually, for records that big, there's a lot of organizers. So around the world, there's usually like an international, there's somebody from France, and somebody from England, and somebody from the US. So like I was just organizing the Arizona Women's State Record, and you get a lot of applications, and there's a lot of people I know, but the people that I don't know, then I'm like, I don't want to just say no, or go based off of just the jump numbers and stuff that they say. But like if they say they've done some P3 camps, then I'm calling Dan BC. Or if they said they've done some All American, then I'm calling Doug Barron. And so then you're getting some recommendations there. So you definitely want to you know, be seen by some of those people, to be part of, those kind of events, because you want to be people that, can do it, and, can be safe, and that you trust. And also that adds to the vibe of the group.
Cool. All right. Well, anything else you want to share with us about the world of Eliana?
No, I've had a good time chatting with you guys. It's been fun. Yeah,
Yeah, it's really nice to have you.
thank you.
How can people, if people decide they want to get coaching from you, or they want to touch base with you, are there easy ways, like social media ways, that people can reach out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Facebook, Eliana Rodriguez, or Eliana Rodriguez Coaching at gmail.com if you want to reach me directly, or you can send me a message on Facebook.
And
Or
I'm just right.
maybe we'll see you as one of the coaches on Crave sometime soon, and
maybe, yeah.
they can send you some videos.
Yeah, there you go.
Eliana, sorry, is so Eliana Rodriguez coaching at Gmail? Coaching,
Coaching,
okay.
yes.
I'm just
And
typing this into the chat for the podcast.
I'm based out of Skydiver, Arizona, so kind of definitely sometimes find me around there.
Cool.
And so Hair Rising is a big project on the horizon. What other things do you have on the horizon coming up? What are you working on?
So for this next season, I want to do more of the four-way competitions. I, I'd like to do more of that, and then more of like maybe four-way trainings in the tunnel and things like that. But and potentially try that state record again, because we had the people. I feel like we just need a good weather for a few jumps, and I think we'll get it. But I'm also this last year, I also was just recovering from some like uh, one, I had cancer last
Mm.
year, and so I'm in remission, so that's good. And then I had a knee surgery, so I'm recovering for that. But so I'm doing more organizing for like organizing events and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
And so are you
The
feeling
ground.
good? Are you feeling good
Yes,
from both of those things?
definitely. Yes, definitely feeling better for sure.
Treatment on the cancer went well, and
Yes.
it's in
Yeah.
remission. That's
I was fortunate that it was caught really early through
mm,
just a routine mammogram. It's just breast cancer. And I did have to have surgery and radiation, but fortunately, because it was caught early, it was minimal. And yeah, it was kind of scary, but
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's
But
like,
you're good.
yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
And
And
the
then
knee.
the knee thing. I mean, I think with all sports, oftentimes people go through a period that you need a little bit of a tune up, and skydiving, I guess, is no different. And
Yeah.
what I would say to you, young people starting, take care of your shoulders, take care of your knees, back, all that stuff. It's super important. Yeah, because you'll see a lot of skydivers with changing their pilot chutes to the other side if they've been around the sport long enough. So yeah, take care of your body because it's way more fun to jump when things don't ache.
Yeah, when you're not hurting. That's
Yeah,
right. That
yeah.
one comedian, he said, he said, yeah, you're getting older. He goes, I wake up in the morning and I go, oh, that's right. I hurt. Just when he gets up out of bed. Oh, I
Yeah,
hurt.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome. Well,
Yeah,
Eliana, thank you so much for joining us. Really nice to have
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
What a
yeah.
joy.
Thank you guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. It was a
Yeah.
lot of fun. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah.
Cool.
And for
Yeah.
all of our listeners, thanks for joining us. Like we always say, get out there, have fun jumping out of an airplane. It's just so enjoyable, isn't it? Just enjoy being in the sky. And you've done it again. You've wasted another perfectly good hour listening to the Crave Show. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks, you guys. That was a lot of fun. Eliana,
Yeah.
hope you have a wonderful year, and we're going to be excited to see you jump from the stratosphere.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Woo.
All right. Bye, you guys.
Cool. See you, everybody.
Bye bye.